Shalom Akim. All praises to Yahweh Bahashem, Yahushua Bahashem, Harakah, Quadash, giving double honors to all the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone, and salutes to all 144,000 elect out there. We are coming back at you with another lesson. So just lambacking on one of my previous videos, how justice is pursuing the wicked. Justice is pursuing the wicked. So all I had to do was just type in past, how many black men died like Trayvon, spell it right. How many black men died like Trayvon Martin in the streets? How many black men died like Trayvon Martin in the streets? All right, see, you got websites, whole heap of different websites here. Just I'm gonna hit the top one here, top one in BBC News. Talking about signing in now all of a sudden. So, right, man, George Floyd, right? This is recent. These are recent, but there's others that haven't made mainstream. Didn't make it to mainstream. We're just gonna hit a couple of these surface ones here. George Floyd timeline of black deaths and protests. All right, some timelines here. So the George Floyd was 22nd of April 2021. Right, Eric Garner, 17th of July 2014. Eric Garner. August 9th of August 2014. Michael Brown. I remember these ones. 22nd of November 2014. Tamara Rice. That was here it is. Tamara Rice. That was a little 12-year-old youth. Tamara Rice, a boy of 12, was shot dead in Cleveland, Ohio by a police officer after reports of a male who was probably a juvenile pointed a gun that was probably fake at passers. Rekindling some of our memories here. 14th of April 2015, Walter Scott. July 2016, Alton Sterling. 16th of July 2016, Fernando Castillo. 8th of March 2018, Stephen Clark. Some of them don't know. 13th of March 2020, Breonna Taylor. Oh, here's the top one here. 25th of May 2020 was George Floyd. So that's the correct date for George Floyd. 2020, 25th of May 2020. That was George Floyd. 11th of April 2021, Dante Wright. Boy, there's enough there. Enough for me to do this video anyway, But like I say, there's a lot that went under the radar. And I know some before social media. I knew of some before computers and social media back in a certain area. Was that entertainer's name? I know his name well. Smiley Culture, and there's some others too. Before, like I say, before some of you's lot time. Colin Roach and his brother. So there's a lot. Oh, there's another one. It's in the back of my head now. This was over back in the day. Stephen, what's his name again? Stephen Phillips. Anyway, it might come back to me, man. But like, if you try and remember all of them, you won't be able to remember all of them. That's just the point, really. That's just the point. So now I want to get into some of these precepts now. Like I say, I just did the video yesterday, and I wanted to get into some of the words, like I do, just to rekindle and get some of the dust off of some of these basic precepts. Which it makes the point though. It does make the point. Nehemiah chapters 1 And verse 3 says, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power. Right? Because I titled my video yesterday, justice is catching up on the wicked. Justice is pursuing the wicked, which we know it going to catch them. Right? The end of E's kingdom and the beginning of Yashua Allah's so-called black man, the so-called black man's time is ushering in, which we're not black people. Yeah, Yashua Allah, the Israelites. Our time is we're on their heels. Is ushering in the paradigm shift. Is ushering in. So justice is pursuing the wicked. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and he will not at all acquit the wicked. Could have brought this up yesterday, but the Spirit was on me. It came to me today, and I said, okay, let's just do another video on going on some of these other. There's so many precepts you can bring in when you come into the Most High's justice and bring in judgment on the wicked. The ultimate judgment, the missiles, yeah, the icing on the cake. That's the ultimate judgment. And then you got the chariots, the chariots, the return of the chariots, which are the angels of the Lord. Like I say, there's so much you can get into, but just for sake of time, I'm going to hit a couple of these precepts and get into some of these basic words here. Yeah, not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. Now we know that these people, we're in the time of Jacob's trouble. We're in that time. You know, this was like I say, the dates, the timelines, all here. So Jacob's trouble has already started. All you got to do is just do a bit of history, and look up some of the deaths recently and even before then. But we know it's going to be a peak point. It's going to rise to a peak point. See, most of the people that we see them is so-called black people. But yeah, there was a judgment because they was off, right? They're not under the banner of the Most High, right? They're not under the Most High protection, the shield of the Most High. David made mention of that shield because it's a spiritual warfare, and I made mention of that ancient hatred that the E's have the so-called black people, right? The so-called white people have an ancient hatred that raises its head every now and then, which is always there seething beneath the surface. Oh, that name just come back to me now. Stephen Lawrence. Stephen Lawrence was in the 90s over here in the Mother of Babylon. You can add him to this list here. For those that know, Stephen Lawrence in the 90s was was stabbed up and thing, you know, in the 90s by some far right racists. BMP, they used to call them National Front in them days. So you could add him to this collection. Like I said, there's a whole heap more that would go under the radar. Right? This is just recent in this time, in this decade. So there's a whole lot more. Prophets as well. You can include prophets too, right? That died in many ways, martyrdom, and other ways. And like I say, these were the wicked. These are wicked of our own people. But even still, they ain't going to be acquitted, right? Scriptures talk about we're going to be in slavery for a certain period of time, and he's going to bring judgment upon those that enslaved us anyway. So yeah, we have to face our punishments. But even the wicked, right, of our own people, they're going their judgment. They're gonna be their deaths are gonna be avenged by the wicked, right? The avengers of the blood, the avengers of our people, which are the East. They're gonna be brought to judgment. Like I'm looking at here, the word here, acquitted. They will not be acquitted. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. So we just want to look at the word, what Google says here, right? It won't be free, acquit, free someone from a criminal charge by a verdict of not guilty. Absolve, clear. So there's other words here. Clear. They're not going to be expunged. Exculpate, declare innocent. And there's others here. You got the point there. So they ain't going. Their criminal record, we know in Revelation 18 says it masses up into the heavens. And it's man, that speaks for itself. That's a long criminal record. So it doesn't compare with any. Their criminal record doesn't compare with one of the most wickedest ninjas on the planet. Who can you think of? Some wicked ninjas. I mean, there's some wicked ninjas, yeah. But the E's record goes up into the heavens. So it's uncomparable, yeah. And yeah, there's wicked among us. It's in Jeremiah 5:26 says, among my people are wicked men. So there's wicked among us. And that's why the Most High let the sword, which are, he describes the E's as the sword, come upon them, come down upon them. Yes, in Psalms chapter 17 and 13, he describes them as the sword. Or it might be 13 and 17, either. But so our people have to be judged and they have to face their judgment. But they're going to be back in their right minds because they've been overreached by Satan, seduced by Satan, by this kingdom, the vibration and the energy of this kingdom, and they're under a spell. So the Most High, in actual fact, a lot of these deletions were mercy, acts of mercy, because they don't have to face the missiles. All right, there's another way of looking at it. A lot of these deletions, which came down upon, for the most part, so-called black people, were acts of mercy by the Most High. They're out of their misery now. They're no longer under the spell of the wicked. They ain't no longer drinking the juice, that spell, that dark spell that is over this wicked place, Babylon and the mother of Babylon. So there's others, like I say, there's a lot more than we're looking at today. There's a lot more, but we just want to hit this point here. Looked at the word acquit. So they ain't going to be acquitted. He's going to have to be brought to. We're going to get into the word in the blue letter. We'll check out this word here, acquit. That's why when I was going into the video yesterday, I brought out that precept in Amos 4. Amos chapters 5, how they're going to be pursued by even the animals. The animals are going to be pursuing them. They're going to be like a chase row, running from place to place, lean upon the wall. There's going to be a serpent going to bite them. Run from the wall, run from one spot to another. A tiger, another spot to another. A lion, another spot to another spot. A bear. And that is one way of punishing wicked people, isn't it? Right? We said they're fugitives and vagabonds. No resting place. There is no rest for the wicked. So the word here, acquit, recuperate, reward. So they ain't going to good or bad deed. So the wicked will not be acquitted. Pay up, settle a claim. You have it there. They ain't going to be free or cleared. I just want to hit the point, the main point. Relieve someone of an obligation, release from a pledge. You have it. They ain't going to be released from this obligation, which is going to be judgment, ultimate judgment. They're going to have to be put up in shackles. And they're going to flee. And all the curses in Jeremiah 28, all the curses that we undergo, they're going to undergo them. They're going to try and run one way. They're going to be they're going to be captured. Right? Like I say, there's going to be no peace for the wicked. They're going to be running and they ain't going to be able to hide. All those curses in Deuteronomy 28 that apply to us is going to apply to them. So they ain't going to be free from charges. They ain't going to be pronounced not guilty. There ain't going to be no discharge. Right? So that's all I really need on that. Right? They ain't going to be free from charges. They're going to be pronounced guilty. Guilty. You saw Superman 1. Right? Those three wicked rebels on the planet Krypton who was rebelling, and they had to be called to an account, brought to account, a court case, and it was all pronounced guilty. Guilty. So that's going to be the end outcome for you, man. The Lord, you get back to it now. Nehemiah chapters 1 and verse 3 says, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord have his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. That just makes another point that wherever you try and run, wherever you try and hide, you climb up into the heavens, the Lord has his way in the whirlwinds. He controls everything. Right? Down underneath the sea, he's there. If you try and go there to hide. And that's brought out in is it Isaiah 14, though they mount up into the heavens, and also in Job 20, wherever they try and run, and also in Obadiah. He gonna be there. You mount up into the heavens, he's gonna be there. You go down beneath the sea, he's gonna be there. And you can't delete none of these oracles. That's also in Jeremiah 31. The challenge that was put to you, if you can get rid of all the oracles, the sun, the moon, and the stars, right? You're gonna get rid of Yahshua. That was the Most High making a point that it cannot be done. It was in sarcasm, in jest, to prove to you, you try and do it, you ain't gonna be able to do it. So no matter what way you cut it or you slice it, the wicked, right, you won't be acquitted. But like I say, even the wicked of our own people, they have to face their judgment. But even them, they're going to be their judgments, the way that they suffered. That's in Genesis. Matter of fact, let me find that one. Find it first on my tablet. Genesis, could be Genesis chapters 15. Genesis chapters 15. Let me find this. If I can find it. Bear with me, uncle. Genesis chapters 3. Might be 3. Here we go. Let's try. That was 3. Let's go to 15. Genesis chapters 15. Here it is. Here it is. So this is Genesis chapters 15 and 13 says, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And after, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward they shall come out with great judgments. So that's in Genesis chapters. As a matter of fact, let me put it out there. So this is all in the spirit. Genesis 15. And 13. Genesis 15 and 13. So we just have it there for you to see up there while I'm in front of my tabletop computer. There you have it. Genesis chapter 15 and 13 says, and he said unto Abraham, know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger in the land that is not theirs. Right. So we got the fulfillment now. We're still in that strange land. The seed of Abraham. He's talking to Abraham here, but Yahshua Allah is the seed of Abraham. Yeah. For know of a surety that thy seed shall be a stranger. It's making a point. In a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Hence why you see in the afflictions, we're just looking at these examples here now. The George Floyd, Philando Castillo, yeah, Eric Garner, Mike Brown, some of them I know of, some of them Some of them we may not know because it's been happening so much over there in Babylon, and you got over here in the mother of Babylon as well. We don't remember, it's happening everywhere. Tamara Rice, 2014, right? So you can't make this up. It's the scriptures that go into this. We're looking at it's making the point. It's backing up the scriptures we're looking at. Being afflicted. That's why the man's got his arm there. That's why they're protesting because they're being oppressed. Right? See that? All these examples here. You can't make it up. It cannot be refuted. Cannot be denied. Right? So that's why we're looking at this. Right? Here. Back to Genesis. And I said to Abraham, know of a surety, Genesis 15 and 13, that thy seed shall be a stranger in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. Right? We looked at those examples. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. Right, so that's an example there of the Egyptians, and there's so much other examples here. We've got the main example, the most recent one over here, mother of Babylon. There was another one, Duncan something, and that was that around 2000. There was that riot something Duncan, the one that was shot in a car, which, like I say, the Most High brought judgment upon them. Right, and the spirits for me to remember, but the one, the recent one, when there was fires being burnt, there was setting fires all over the place over there in Tottenham and certain other um, town centres, burning up the place. Was it Eric Duncan or something like that? But like I say, there's a lot here, ones that we know in mainstream, and a lot that we probably don't give up, we probably don't know, or we don't care, whatever the case may be. It was the judgment of the Lord. But like I say, the judgment of the Lord, they will not be acquitted, because in 15 it says, and thou shalt go, 14, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge afterward, shall they come out with great substance. So even the wicked of our own people, right, that judgment's there, what they have to face and suffer from, the afflictions, right, the afflictions here in Babylon, or modern day Egypt, right, or the revived Romans today, however you want to make mention of it, right, we're being afflicted, right, and these places are places where we're in captivity, where we've been in captivity throughout our generations, right? Ancient Babylon, Grecians, the Persians, the Medes, the Persians, the Grecians, the ancient Romans, the Egyptians, all where we've been slaves in these places, under an under an affliction. But the Most High said, and also that nation, and it did happen. It did happen to all these other nations. You can read about that in Daniel's chapters 2. Daniel's chapters 2, and also in 11, and also in 12, and also in 7. Throughout a lot of the books of Daniel, you can read about what happened to these other nations, how the Most High brought them down quickly. Nebuchadnezzar and Belshazzar, also their downfalls. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge afterward, shall they come out with great substance. Were all the examples. So they have to face judgment. They ain't going to be acquitted. The wicked will not be acquitted. Got another precept here when it comes to the judgment on the justice of the Most High. The justice is pursuing the wicked, and it's catching up on them, and it's going to ultimately catch them. And they're the ones that are, like I say, Deuteronomy 28, they're going to be shackled up, right? The elite, the shadow government, going to be shackled up and put in the pits to work off their debts, because they ain't going to be able to be acquitted. They ain't going to walk out of the court. Most High is not going to acquit them. Let's look at the word again here. Right? It's not going to be what? free someone from a criminal charge by a verdict of not guilty. They're going to be found guilty as charged. So let's hit this one. We're going to end off the video. Ecclesiastes chapters 3 and 15 says, that which have been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past. Two similar words there, requireth. Let's hit that word there. Requireth. It's very similar to acquit. H1245. Right? So, yeah, the title of my previous video comes back to my mind. They're being pursued. To seek, require. Right? They're being called to an account. The word here, to ask, request, to request exact. So they're going to have to be. So the fugitive, what happened with the Cain? He said, my punishment is too much for me to bear. You're going to be a fugitive and a vagabond in the earth. And if you had to be on the run, you ain't going to be able to be on the run. You're going to be called, asked. You're going to be asked of, right? You're going to be asked to do your time. And if you didn't want to do the time, you shouldn't have did the crime, man. All right? Asked, beseeched. Enough said on that. To make an acquisition, right? You're going to have to stand up. What do they say? Stand up and make an accounting of yourself. Because men don't like, you know, we know Cain wasn't a real man. He was what you call a coward. He didn't want to face his judgment. He did the crime and he didn't want to do the time. He didn't want to face his judgment. Real men say, you know what, I put my hands up. I did the crime, so I do the time. Real men do that, but he wasn't a real man. He's a coward, and that's, like I say, that's the ease. They come from the seed of Cain, right? The seed of Cain and Esau come from the seed of Cain. They're not credible men. They're not what you call stand-up characters. They're not stand-up characters, right? The original criminals of the earth, the fugitive of the earth. You're being pursued and justice is pursuing you and it's going to catch you. You're not a stand-up character, right? You're going to have to stand up eventually and make an accounting, and you're going to be, your sentence is going to be passed and you're going to have to do it. So I want to hear what he says here on this word here, to seek.
Psalms H1245. By cash. By cash.
Oh, that's how it's pronounced. So you're going to have to be a stand-up character eventually. You're going to have to stand up. You can't run forever. You're going to have to be make an acquisition. Be a stand-up character. And that's only going to happen when the shackles are on you. When you can't run. Right? You're going to be crying. You're going to think you're going to... You're going to think you're going to be... If you think you're going to try and cry your way out of it, like a lot of these women, that's what they do. A lot of these women, that's what they try and usually do. That's their get out of jail card, to get pity when you see them in the courts, or men who have women. What do? That's their first initial reaction, to think that they're going to get out of it, right? Cry, because he ain't a man. Like I say, he's a coward, and a lot of, that's their weapon of choice: crying, lying, killing, stealing, and destroying. Right? Their weapon is the modern day gun, which was the sword. So they're gonna try and they're not a stand-up character. Need I say more? Need I say more? So you're gonna be called to an account. Let me find one more. You have been. That's all I want. Most I require that which is past. Let's get that in some of the translations. In the NKJV says, that which has already been and what is to be has already been, and God requireth an account of what is past. Right? When you're told to stand up and make an accounting, you're gonna cry. Right? That's you. That's Cain. That's the seed of Cain. You're gonna cry and try and wiggle and squirm your way out of it like the snake you are. But the Most High says you ain't gonna be acquitted. Right? You're gonna have to make an accounting. You've been running for so many years, decades, centuries. You've been running and running and running and running, slaying Jake while you've been doing it, thinking that you're gonna be acquitted. You ain't gonna be acquitted. Eventually, you're gonna be have to make an account, and that's only gonna be when you're in the shackles. When you realize there's nowhere to run, and even then you're gonna be trying to scheme your way out of it. We know what's really you're the serpent. That's why you're the serpent, right? NLT. What is happening now has happened before, and what will happen in the future has happened before. Right? You can't refute this is reincarnation right here. Reincarnation scripture. Here, right here. Reincarnation scriptures. With a lot more other reincarnation scriptures. So we're making the point. Because God makes the same thing happen over and over again, we're making a point here. See? Yeah, you will be called an accounting. And all those that were judged, yeah, they was judged in their previous lives, and all those that brought them judgment, probably they were the slave catchers. Like I made the point yesterday, there a lot of these centurions today or police officers today in their previous life were slave catchers working for the government, right? The KKK slave catchers back here doing their lot. Yeah, that backs up reincarnation. Here's another one. One more. Whatever it has already been, whatever is has already been, and what will be has been before. And God will call the past to an account. That's enough said on that. Eventually, Cain, your seed, the seed of Cain, the seed of Eve, gonna have to be called an account. You're gonna have to stand up eventually and be a stand-up character, something that you've never been. But the Most High gonna bring it to you. Gonna bring it to you, and you're gonna have to. That's when you're gonna be in shackles. So enough said on that, man. The Most High does require that which has passed. That which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which has passed. So you think you're gonna get away, right? These are the signs. Even these, under this vibration, even though they're going off, right? George Floyd, even him, when he come back, he's gonna be in his right mind, and all of these others, right? And you're gonna have to pay for their crimes, what you did, bringing them, deleting Yahshua Allah. We just looked at that in Genesis chapter 15. Those that you had in possession, you slayed them. Right? That was in Zephaniah 11. But those you had in possession, you slayed them, but they were still God's children. And you're going to have to be judged same way for that, like you did to a lot of others. You're going to still have to face judgment for that. Matter of fact, we remind you of that in Genesis 15 and 14 says, and also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterwards shall they come out with great substance. So ultimately, everyone that they brought judgment on, you Babylonians, modern day Babylonians, the ancient Babylonians, and all these other empires, you're going to have to be judged for having us in slavery and how you afflicted us. You're still going to have to be judged for it. Even the wicked of our own people, you're still going to have to be judged for that, what you did to them. You won't be judged for it. Nah, that's enough said on that. Just to end off, Nehemiah 1 and 3. Let's get that in some of the translations too. And we're going to end it. The Lord, NKJV, the Lord is slow to anger and great in power. I will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord has his way in the whirlwind and in the storm. Very same way. Same words. This one's slightly different here. NLT, the Lord is slow to get angry. Slightly different. The Lord is slow to get angry, but his power is great. Right, and we've seen what's been happening, man, with these tornadoes, the hurricanes, strange weathers. We've seen the chariots. We see what they can do every time we look up. You see chariots all more or less now revealing themselves even more, and they've been interactions. They've had interactions with the military, and they haven't got never taken an L. The chariots of the Lord has never taken an L, which you aeroplanes, you military, you've been licked out the sky so many times. It's embarrassing for you. It's embarrassing, and they haven't even fully revealed themselves yet. The angels of the Lord, the chariots of the Lord, or what you call UFOs or UAPs, haven't even revealed themselves fully yet. So you don't know about power. You don't know what power is. You don't know about nothing about no power. Also, I gave you a little bit of, gave you some toys to play with. You think you got it. You think you got it. You ain't got nothing. The Lord is slow to anger, slow to get angry, but his power is great. I like that. Yeah, boy. Yeah, and he never lets the guilty go unpunished. See, that's how it's in this word is slightly different. He never, but let calm down, slow down. Yeah, the Lord is slow to get angry, but his power is great, and he never lets the guilty go unpunished. There you have it. He displays his power in the whirlwind and a storm, and the storm bellowing clouds are the dust beneath his feet. They give an example. What kind of power you're dealing with? And like I say, he hideth himself. You don't know nothing about real power yet. You don't know nothing about real power yet. You say you're not afraid. Star Wars movie. Yoda speaking to Luke. I'm not afraid, but yeah, you will be. You will be. Enough said on that, man. So the water tea of Hashim Shah want the spirit on me to do this video. Justice is pursuing these wicked. So the Lord will not acquit the wicked. We're just looking at it. We're just looking at it. All these examples here. Oh, they thought, oh, that happened years ago, man. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? Stephen Lawrence and Smiley Culture over in England. Uh, Dun- Eric Duncan, I think that's his name, and all these others here. The ones in the mainstream, but there's a lot that are under the not that are not in mainstream, and most I go and punish you for them too. So your sins mass up into the heavens, man. You will not be acquitted. So the wada to all the sincere Akim once again. Shalom, we on to the next. Ease will not be acquitted.